Get in here. Come on in. Get in here. Get in here. Hey, welcome back. It's Strengthen Your Soul. Get in here. Come on, waiting for you. Thrilled to see you tonight. Love being with you. So we need you. Come on, get in here. Hey, want to run through the schedule? As always, 8 o'clock we open up. 8:01 we take a drink together. We do a little cheers. And then 8:02 we get started. So grab your favorite drink. Could be any type of drink. Tonight, I'm chewing gum in a video on a live stream. Don't care. So, because I have gum, the best kind of gum, Dentyne Ice Shiver. Dentyne Ice Midnight? I don't know. It's the black one. Really good. Anyways, because I'm having that, just water. Staying hydrated. Oh, almost had a sip without you. Sorry, I'm a little off my game tonight. Get in here. Come on, we need you. We need you. Tonight we're looking at the most unconventional advice I've ever received that has the possibility to strengthen your soul. So get in here, grab a drink. We'll get started right away here. In about 10 seconds, we'll grab a drink. So, hope you're ready. Let's take together. Cheers. Now let's talk about your soul. We got work to do. So start tonight with a bit of a story on one piece of advice that was given to me by a mentor, Martin. I've referenced him several times before. He's been unbelievably helpful. One thing I got to say, and maybe one day it'll be worth its own 8-minute teaching, is the strengthening of your soul never happens alone. There are often people in our lives who push us, draw us, challenge us to experience more of life, a healthier soul, and a deeper connection with God. Anyways, one day, he came up to me, and I was standing there with another friend of mine, and he looked at us and he said, I'm going to solve something for you that is holding you back. And he looked at us and he said, I want you to do me a favor. Never worry about being humble again. Don't worry about humility. Don't think about humility. Don't aim to be humble. Stop it. And I remember when he said this, and I remember just being like shocked, like flabbergasted. I remember going like, what? And here's what he said. And then we'll tie it into the teachings of Jesus. And then we're going to identify where what we call humility is holding back our soul. And so here's what he said. And I give it to you. He said, if you know anything about God, you know this, that God hates pride. Pride is this idea that we are something much more than we are. Pride is this idea that we are better than we really are, we're better than others, that we should be in charge, that we should be in control. And pride always separates us from God, from life, from the universe, from Christ. It keeps us from learning, it keeps us from growing. And actually, one of the teachings of Jesus is this, is that God opposes the proud. But he gives grace, he gives kindness, he gives favor to the humble. So particularly within faith circles, people try to be humble. But here was Martin's point. When you aim at being humble, when you try to be humble, it's actually an inverse form of pride. So, what a lot of people will call this, and I'm going to use the blue. I want to use the blue marker tonight. Is this? It's trying to be humble is actually what you might call false humility. So I want to give you a couple of signs that you're being falsely humble. Falsely humble. And then in our try time, we're actually going to go, God, would you show me where I'm actually living under my potential? and where I'm trying to be humble rather than trying to do what you want. So here was my friend Martin's point. He said this, that a lot of the reason why many of us, we don't live up to our full potential is we're so worried about being humble, trying to be humble. This is especially true in cultures that have what you might call tall poppy syndrome, which is simply this: if you stand out among the crowd, people will attack you. So when you're trying to be humble, what you're doing is this: you're still doing image management. You're still trying to present to people and to the world a version of yourself that you think is acceptable, rather than the one that you truly are. And because of that, when you try to be humble, you're not actually being yourself. Now hear me. There are some aspects of who you are and who I am that need to be managed. Some of them need to actually be attacked. Some of them need to be thrown away, never to be adopted again. That's what the teachings of Jesus. There's parts of us that actually need to die. And he goes, I'll help you put them to death, because they're so toxic and horrible that they got to go. But part of the reason why Jesus actually gives his life for humanity and for you is this: there's parts of you that are amazing, that need to be showcased to the world. And when they're showcased to the world, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the one who made you and who loved you and who gave you that gift, that intelligence, that beauty, that ability to articulate or cook or run or play basketball. It's actually, we're meant to show the best of ourselves to the world. So we shouldn't try to be humble. Rather than trying to be humble, here's the key. Try to be helpful. See, when you do that, then you get real humility. See, the concept here is this. And the reason why this is so important is, if you want to connect deeply with God, you must see that God is one who helps. That actually it is in the very character of God to help people. That life itself, embedded into life, and we see this in the life and teachings of Jesus, is that real life, real love, real humility is about helping others. This is why in the story of Jesus, he lays down his life for the help of humanity. He does it to help us deal with the darkest parts of ourselves. So real humility is about trying to be helpful. So when you are falsely humble, when you're trying to be humble, you're living in image management. You're hiding the best of yourself. And when you get proud, because everyone gets proud, God, if you're open to him, and I want you to be open to God. I want you to be open to Jesus. I get some of you aren't ready for that yet. But I know some of you are following along and learning. And I love that. That is a sign of real humility, going, I think I might need to be helped. But when you open yourself to him, when you're proud, Jesus will immediately let you know, because he doesn't like it. It's his least favorite attribute. And he'll tell you. So, what do we do about it when we're trying to be falsely humble? I told you I'd give you some signs, so I'll give you some quick ones. If you can't take compliments, that's an X. That's the word compliments. I'm running out of space, and I can see the glare is really bad, so I'm going to just try and shift. Hopefully that helps. I think it helps. I'm looking at my screen. I think that made it better. Hopefully it helps. So if you struggle to take compliments, it's often a sign of false humility, of trying to be humble. The other one is this, what you might call fishing for compliments. I remember when I was a kid, there was one of my friends. He was an amazing artist, and he'd always show you his art and go, "This is really bad," and it was like remarkable. I remember one time he drew a picture of a husky, and it was so lifelike. And he's like, "Yeah, it really sucks." And he was just looking for compliments. So he was pretending to be humble. He wasn't trying to be helpful, and he was fishing for compliments. Another one is this: a fear of excellence, or you might say the spotlight. This one I've found to be very normative in Canadians. I grew up in Regina, love that place, humble place. But it's also true in Calgary, a bigger city that's more success-oriented. But a fear of really showing everyone what we're capable of. A lot of people, myself included, out of false humility, struggle to be in the spotlight. And that was me for a long time. That was me. I'll just tell you, I'll let you in on my soul, and then we're going to go to the try part. We're going to let the universe, we're going to let God seek us out and show us where we're not putting forth our best, where we're not risking to help others, because we're trying to be humble, which is really false humility. We need to try to be helpful, which is real humility, because we're thinking of others, not about ourselves. The reason why I avoided social media, I've had a Facebook account for like 13 years. I never make posts, never. I've had Instagram since it began. I have like 6 posts. Part of the reason why I never used social media was this: it was false humility. I didn't want to brag, that's true. I didn't want to be proud, that's true. But I was still thinking about myself, and I'm like, I don't know if I'd have anything worthwhile putting out there. So part of actually this video series that I'm doing, Strengthen Your Soul, is actually an attempt to be helpful, to try to live into real humility by using all of my capability to help others, to help you. So I'm going to give a quick erase here, and we're gonna try something. We're going to ask 2 questions here. The first one is this: you don't have to use this wording exactly, but this will help. So again, we're going to pray, and prayer is this: it's speaking to God and trying to listen for His voice. Oftentimes, He just speaks to us in our thoughts. We just have a thought, it sounds like our own thought, but it's actually the Father of your soul speaking to you. Many of you have experienced this. Inside of faith, outside of faith. It's because God wants to speak to you. He cares for you. So the first one is, where am I hiding greatness? Now, some of my processing in the past couple of weeks I've already done. I'll participate with you, but I may just get some repeats. And then, who can I help? And I put a little note here: secret is better. Helping people in secret has a beautiful way of ending fake humility and actually causing us to live into true humility, because true humility is aiming to help others. It's thinking of others rather than yourself. That's what it means to be truly humble. So let's take a moment and just go, Jesus, God, where am I hiding greatness? Might put it like this: where am I afraid to risk? Where could I do more to help others? Just think about it. Where are you hiding greatness? The skills, the good gifts, the goodness that you have. Another way of putting it: where am I pretending to be humble? So just think about it. Pray, and if something comes out, just write it down. So for me, it's still going to come down. It's going to sound silly because I already told you about it. But this is what comes to my mind right away. Still on social media. I have still avoided integrating all these platforms. So I haven't used Instagram. And there are people that I know who would be helped if I would try to expand my voice, my reach, because I just want to help people. I I don't get anything for doing this except for the satisfaction of helping people. Second question, who can I help? This might be related to the first one, but God may say to you, this person I want you to help. Because remember, true humility is about helping others, considering them before yourselves. That's the teaching of Jesus. Who can I help? So I got a friend. I'm not going to use his real name because he may be watching, and also I want to keep him sort of anonymous. So I'll make up a name. This is not the friend. I got a friend who I feel like I'm just supposed to FaceTime and hang out with digitally in this season. He's a great friend of mine. I haven't touched base with him much. And I know he's super lonely. And if I want to be truly humble, I want to serve my friend. So that's what I feel. With all that being said, I'd love to ask for your help. If you could like or comment or share or subscribe even on YouTube, that'd be super helpful. People's lives are getting changed. And I think one of the ways you might be able to help, if nothing came to mind, is just to share this. You don't even have to share it publicly. You could share it just to one friend. And help us help more people. With that being said, I hope your soul's getting strong. I hope you're feeling more connected to God, and I hope more than anything that you're feeling connected to others and connected to Him more and more. With that being said, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.